Before I sit down, I just wanted y'all to see that I'm sitting up on some height. So if sitting cross-legged is difficult for you, you could always sit in a chair, but I don't sit cross-legged very much anymore. After years and hours and hours and hours of doing it, it's causing some issues in my hips and my knee. But if I sit up, it prevents those pains from coming in and it allows me to be here. Just a brief little talk and then we'll move. Yesterday was a very tumultuous day, I'll call it. We had the insurrection happening, the storming of the Capitol. We had the votes being tabulated in Georgia and things were awfully tight and tense down there. There was a lot of ups and downs. Different people felt differently about results and different things, but I am hoping that all of us feel that that insurrection was really, really wrong for so many levels and for us as one whole country, and especially when we look at we are all one, yeah? So I'm not going to talk a lot about that. I'm not a spiritual leader and I'm not a politician. But what I will say is that yesterday, I'm still emotional. Yesterday was a very roller coastery day and my energy was really up and out of my body and into my mind and into anxieties and into worries and all of these things. And I happen to know a really good tool to bring it back into the gross body, right? The physical body. We're going to work with the earth element, and I'll talk a little bit about it as we go, but you can just simply do the moves and do the breath, and you will still hopefully gain benefits. So this is what I did last night so that I could sleep. It's what I did this morning. So may it provide a little bit of grounding for you. May it provide a little inner peace if you're feeling a little whoo with all this stuff. So just for a few moments, let's sit up tall, whatever position you're in. And the very first place we're going to go with our attention is we're going to bring it down into our contact points with the earth. Now we might be sitting in different positions and we all have very individual bodies. We are not clones of each other. So what I feel is going to be different than what you feel. So take a few moments and just feel whatever points of contact you have with the floor, the earth, the blocks, the chair, etc. So bringing the energy, the awareness down. I find it very helpful in my personal practice to use imagery here and to imagine that I have roots growing down from those points of contact all the way down into the earth. I like to go to the center. I like to go deep. Right? So I've heard people using lights to connect them to the earth, you know, like beams of light or cords or cables or chains, whatever works for you. I am a tree in my little visualization and I have roots that grow down. So think of the energy right now moving from the crown of your head, coming all the way down to the base of your body, and then down into those roots that you've imagined or whatever that is that's connecting you to the earth. And then we're going to add breath to that. When you inhale, bring your awareness to the crown of your head. And you're going to inhale from the crown of the head and let that inhale come all the way down the body, the spine, until you're in the perineum or the tailbone area. And as you exhale, exhale down into the earth. Again, this is part visualization or imagination. Inhale, imagining that air, that breath going from the crown of the head all the way down to your base, and exhaling down into the earth. Do that for yourself a couple or a few more times. And just feeling that heavy quality, especially from the waist down. And then if it feels good in your body, you're going to just start to walk your hands a little forward. If you're in a chair, you could just simply lean forward and put your arms on your legs or lean over the legs. And don't worry about depth. I've got to get down this far or any such thing. It's just bringing ourselves down a little closer to that earth element. Feeling the earth underneath us. Still breathing through the crown of the head on the inhale down to the tailbone, the perineum, and exhale through the perineum down into the ground. And again, it's just let it be, play with it. Be playful and let it be your imagination. And if you'd leaned forward, you're going to walk back up. If you had one shin in front, you can put the other shin in front. Sit up tall for just a moment. One breath from the crown of the head coming all the way down. Exhaling down into the earth. And if it feels appropriate in your body, again, maybe walking forward, softening down in. And don't let this be, I gotta stretch and get into this and that and the other. That's not what today is about. We're just softening down. That said, as you fold forward, you might notice you have tightness, maybe in your jaw or your upper back, your lower back, your hip. So can you bring the breath now into those areas that feel tight or restricted? So the inhale expands, creating space, and the exhale softens the tension, the muscles. One more breath like that. And then you're going to go ahead and come on up. We're going to transfer into hands and knees. Now you don't need blocks, but if you have them, we are going to do a little lunge situation, and you may want them. And for any of my friends who have sensitive knees, like me, you might want to put a pad underneath your knees if you're on a hardwood floor or something. And when you come into your hands and the knees, you want your knees underneath your hips-ish, your wrists underneath your shoulders-ish, right? Different bodies, different things, but that's a general placement. And then from there, before we move into cat-cow, feel your hands and your fingers pushing down into the earth, right? Feel your feet and your shins pushing down. You could curl the toes under if that's better for you. And as you root down, feel the stability that provides in your body. Again, feel the earth's energy coming up into you. And then from there, you're going to inhale and move the shoulder blades down the back, reaching the chest forward and up. The crown of the head lifts lightly. Don't crank through the neck. And exhale, rounding the body. Now be willing to move really slow. That's the most grounding movement speed, right? Inhale, shoulder blades down the back. When we get a little agitated in our central nervous system, we tend to want to move really fast. Exhale, pulling the belly up. So if we want to balance that, we would go the opposite way. We would move really slow. We would deepen the breath. And take a few more of those. Just simple cat-cow, right? Don't make it be too complex today. Let it be familiar so that your central nervous system is like, oh yeah, I know this. And it can release into it and just move with the breath. Feeling that earth energy coming up through your hands, through your feet, your shins. And then you'll come back to neutral when you're ready. Now go ahead and stretch your right leg back behind you, right? And the toes are going to stay on the earth initially. But push that heel back so that the thigh gets really buoyant. Keep pushing that left shin down for the stability of the left hip. Now you're going to simply just reach your left fingertips forward. Slide them forward on your mat, but you're not lifting the arm, right? And as I reach my fingers forward and my heel back, I'm going to tone my low belly up just lightly. I'm going to make sure I still have the pressure in my right hand and fingers and my left shin and foot. That's my stability here. Now maybe that left arm lifts and the bicep comes up next to the ear-ish. Maybe it doesn't. And then don't let the ribs drop. Don't lose the belly. Maybe the right leg lifts as well. And if this doesn't feel stable and you want to go for the stability, bring down a hand or bring down the foot and work with one limb still touching the earth. It's not about, I got to do core work today. It's about finding balance, finding grounding, and working with the earth element. Inhale, maybe they lift up just a little bit. Don't go too crazy with that. We don't want to damage the low back. And then exhale, bring the hand down, bring the leg down. And between sides, we're going to go into a child's pose. So the knees can go wide, the big toes touch. And just take a moment and sink back and down into child's pose. You could lie on your back if this is terribly uncomfortable, or you could leave the hips higher if that helps the hips or the knees. But soften the arms, soften the forehead to the ground. Feel that earth underneath your forehead.
maybe your forearms, your shins, whatever you feel connecting to the earth right now. And again, feel that heavy quality, right? That's one of the qualities of earth. It's dense, it's heavy. So allow your body to feel that in this moment. Connect to that. Again, we're coming into the physical body and trying to get out of our minds, out of the energy of thinking and anxieties and worries and all the stuff. We're right here, right now. We're safe, and we've got this beautiful earth providing this nice, heavy energy. Now go ahead and come back up to hands and knees. Now you know where we're going, so don't hurry up and go in there. Again, we're countering that right now. Find stability, find the low belly toning, and then lengthen the left leg back. And pause, toes are on the ground. It's not about core work. Don't lift the leg yet. That's not, you're missing the point. I love you. You're missing the point, right? Reach the right arm forward. Even if you can lift it up immediately, please don't. With the fingers on the ground, reach your fingers forward, reach your heel back, tone the abdomen in. Foot stays on the earth, and we're going to lift the arm first today. My right shin came up. I'm leaning over to the left in my hand, so I'm going to, clarify that stability, and then I'm going to lift the left leg up. And maybe you keep your fingers down or your toes down and you just lift one limb. If you feel like you're super wobbly and you don't feel stable today, where can you be where you find stability? This is an energetic practice today more than it is a physical practice, yeah? And with an inhale, maybe you lift your limbs just a little higher. Maybe they get a little longer. And then bring the hand down first. Bring the leg down. And one more time, let's go into not downward dog, sorry, child's pose. And you can bring your forehead to the ground. I leave mine lifted just for vocal quality, so please don't feel like you have to mimic me. You can have the forehead higher. Sometimes I put a block under my forehead. Feel the earth. Let your body, feel your bones, feel the weight of your bones. They're pretty heavy, those bones. And then from there, we're going to come back up to hands and knees. Bring the blocks in if you want them for your lunge series. You're going to step the right foot forward, not too fancy about it today, and come into a lunge, right? Ankle underneath the knee-ish. Feel that right foot, all three corners of the tripod of the right foot planted down. Feel that left shin planted down. And then on fingertips or blocks, get really long in the spine and try to find that, what I often refer to as a neutral spine, right? It's our elongated spine. Now, we're just going to go back and forth between the two slowly and on the breath. Our inhale is going to reach our chest forward. Think a little bit cow, if that makes sense. And then with an exhale, you'll start to straighten that right leg any amount, and you might even flex that right foot a little bit. Don't be aggro with it, not today. And inhaling forward, right? And you'll exhale back. So that's the new sequence. You can move your hands back with you when you move, or you can leave them forward, whatever feels comfortable. Right? Adding in just one little refinement, when you move back, try to let your left hip move straight back instead of jutting out to the left. Again, just feeling that physical body, what's going on in there. The next time you go back, we're going to stay back for a few moments. I like to move my hands, my blocks back a little bit so they're under my shoulders. I also am going to walk my right foot a little forward so I keep my left hip over my knee. It's just stabler, right? My bones are now stacked and I don't have to use as much muscular action to hold myself. And then from there, with the flexing of the right foot, you might just make mind that pinky toe edge is coming back as well if it can. And you can bend the knee a little bit. Yes, there's a hamstring stretch, no doubt about it. But today, don't let it just be, I gotta stretch my hamstring, right? Feel that body soften down, feel that neck release. Get a little closer to the earth. And I don't mean you have to force yourself into a big stretch. I just mean get down into whatever your closer to the earth is. And feel that energy rise up. Again, maybe playing with feeling that dense quality, that heavy quality that the earth provides us. And then we're going to come back up.
And before we come out of this, right, we're going to walk the right foot over. We've got one more part in this series. Both hands are going to come inside. Now, we're not going to lean on the pinky edge today. We're going to leave that foot down, but I turn my foot out a little bit because my knee turns out a little bit. But I'm going to act like there's a standing pose in that right foot. I'm going to inhale and reach that chest long, and then with an exhale, I'm going to start to come down. I might simply bend my elbows a little bit. I might come onto blocks. I might make it down to the ground. Personally, for me, that's pushing it a little too far, and that becomes a strenuous physical action, which is not where I'm headed today. So I'm going to keep my weight in that right foot as I soften the body down. And again, just letting my body just move towards the earth. It doesn't have to be an objective that I'm trying to get down on the earth. I need my forearms to touch. It's just simply that energetic quality of softening down towards the earth. Keep pushing into all three corners of the right foot, just enough so that we keep that knee nice and sturdy, stable, I'll call it. And then we're going to rise up, so hands on the ground or the blocks to push the floor away. And you can just simply let that right foot go wide and come back. Bring that left leg forward, and first it starts between the two blocks in line with the buttocks, right? We're going to move forward into the lunge. Sorry, that's the doorbell for someone coming in and out downstairs. Sorry about that. And feel the weight in that left foot, all three corners of the left foot. Feel that right shin pushing down, right? Up on fingertips, get real long, and then we're going to move into our little movement sequence. Slow, 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 slow. Inhale, reaching that chest forward. The longer the breath, the more grounded we become. Exhale, and I don't mean that as a challenge. Try to make your breath super duper long, right? I just mean if it's high, if it's shallow and up high in just the lungs, not the belly. Inhale, reach the chest forward. The central nervous system tends to get agitated. We're trying to unagitate our central nervous system. Exhale back. Is unagitate a word? I don't know. It's still okay to have humor, guys. We can still laugh. It's okay. And the next time that you end up moving back, whenever that is in your body, go ahead and move on back. You might move the hands back. I'm going to move my left foot a little forward so I keep my right hip over my knee a little more. It's just a little bit more I'm working with architecture, right? I don't have to use as much muscular action to hold myself up. I'm stacked. And I'm going to look at that left foot, and I'm going to think about that pinky toe also coming back. But then I'm just going to soften into it. Right? And whatever your softening down is, again, the objective is not to lay your shin, your forehead on your shin or anything like that. It's just, where can you be where you soften and where you let gravity just kind of take care of you here, where you can feel that heaviness of the earth underneath you. She's there. She's got you. And you're safe right now at this moment in time. So we keep coming back to the present and this moment and now, right? At times of tumult, we really start to realize how helpful our practice can become, yeah? Inhale and come on up. We're going to walk that left foot out to the left a little bit, bringing those hands on the blocks to the ground. We let the hips move a little forward. You might move the left foot out to the left a little if the knee is moving that direction, but plant all three corners of your left foot down as you start to come on down. This one's called lizard. Again, don't let it be like, oh, I got to get my right psoas. I got to get my... It's not about the stretches today so much as it is this movement towards the earth, this softening down. So can you find that, right? And what is your experience right now at this exact moment in this body? Just keep coming back to your physical body. Yes, right now in the practice, but all day long, if it's a helpful tool, just pause, take deep breaths, bring the breath down through from the crown of the head to the ground and feel your roots. And put your hands on the blocks, push the blocks away and step back. And let's go ahead and move into a downward facing dog. If that doesn't feel appropriate, you would just do a child's pose again potentially. Walk your hands a little in front of your shoulders. Before you go up, if you're already up in downward dog, you're not moving very slowly. Inhale, move that chest forward, right? Like you're moving into cat. Keep your upper back, but tone your belly up just a little bit. And now keep your upper back and keep the knees bent initially and start to move back. Now we're going to concentrate on the floor under our hands and our fingers first. Pressing into the hands and the fingers, we're going to reach our buttocks bones up and back. And then spread your toes really wide. And now maybe you start to straighten the legs a little bit, right? Maybe those heels reach down and the heels start to move towards the floor. And they don't have to actually touch the floor. And for today's practice, as a matter of fact, a tool that I really like on my days when I'm trying to ground, and I'm showing it right now, is I put a blanket underneath my heels, so that my heels actually are grounded. My balls and my ball mounds of my feet are on the earth, but my heels are up on a blanket, and my heels just push and they push and they push, and I could make that higher if I needed to in my particular body. Right? And for those who are more flexible, one of the beautiful things about this tool, this blanket underneath the heels, is maybe you push the heels down so much you pick your toes up, and then feel how active those legs become, right? They become a really beautiful part of helping. They become responsible. I often call it they become responsible in the pose. And then we're going to go ahead and bring our knees down, and we're going to come down to child's pose again. And again, my head is lifted higher for vocal quality, but please feel free to bring your forehead down. And just let the body rest here. Check back into that beautiful breath. And we're going to come up before we finish this sequence, and we're going to either sit cross-legged or kneeling or whatever is right for you today. If when we started the class, if you remember, you put your right shin in front, you'll put the other shin in front. And if you don't remember whatever shin you just put in front, that was probably it. So maybe switch the shins out just for good measure. Sit up nice and tall. Feel free to close the eyes. And just take a couple of moments. And, I just want you to remember that when it seems like our future is uncertain, unstable, or threatened, and that's been a lot of this year, and everyone thought, oh, we're in 2021, but that doesn't mean anything. There are still going to be times where we feel like we have this uncertainty, this instability, is that a word? This instability, or that we're threatened. So those are the days when our practice is the most helpful, when I feel like it's the most important. And let your objective not be that I've got to do this or be a certain way. Let it just be that you feel grounded in this moment. You take the time to feel your physical body, feel the earth element in this particular moment. And this moment. And this moment. And the more we do this, the more alert and clear our mind becomes. So that if we do have to make a decision at some point in time, don't we want to make our decisions with a clear, alert mind and not from this place of agitation and uncertainty? Bring those hands together in front of your chest. Take a big ol' inhale. Exhale, bow the head in. Remembering to always, always root everything through that beautiful heart, through love, through forgiveness, through acceptance. We can't change what's happening in the Capitol. We can't really do a lot about that right now, probably, right? Not in this moment. But we can tune in, and if we do have to make a decision, maybe we make it from the heart, not from the head, not from fear. That's for certain. I guess my main saying, and that kind of says it all, is making our decisions based on love and abundance and not on fear and scarcity. I try to live by that. Inhale and bring that head back up. Release those hands down. And before we say namaste, just one more reminder is we don't know what the future outcome is. And right now we're really trapped in the catastrophic thinking, right? division and hatred and, oh my God, I can't believe, but good things may come out of this too. So being open to possibilities of all of that and just keep coming back to the present moment over and over and over. Keep coming back to the ground. Namaste. Hopefully you feel more stable. And if you do, and you've got a little kindness and stability in you, maybe you call someone else who might not be there with you and provide them with some of that. Love you.